to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today's topic is going to be a little bit hard, not because I have an issue with talking about it, but because I know our community does not accept critical critiques or whatever. And I just would like to say, no real leaders, from what I can tell, within our community came out and spoke against this.
Erupting at the Nordstrom department store as more than a dozen people, masked and hooded, were seen stealing high-end handbags. Some even dragging
windows trying to get into Millennium Park, prompting a major police response. Within the past few minutes, shots were fired near the corner of Madison and Michigan. Now, we had a news crew on the...
This cell video posted on social media shows a wild robbery at the McDonald's restaurant on Crenshaw at 43rd Street in Leimert Park Monday evening.
How are we expected to grow when no one wants to address things that happen like this? These happen in Chicago, there's California, there's Boston, not Boston, but I can't think of the city, Baltimore, where it's detrimental to our social standing, it's detrimental to our communities, and no one wants to talk about it. Instead, like, for example, that mayor in Chicago, he would rather give these kids a slap on the wrist. But when you get a slap on the wrist, you don't grow, you don't evolve, you don't mature. Because anytime you do something bad, you're not called to the carpet about it. And you even have professional Black people, which I'm not going to name who they are, who excuse this type of behavior as well. And I'm not understanding why. For example, that young lady that lost her life in Ohio at Kroger, she, pregnant woman, pregnant with her third child, perhaps, third baby daddy, stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. It's not what it could be what this video is about. Because we are not trying to, this is the importance of a nuclear family, which helps the community. And what it does is, a strong, loving father in the home. You would not see a lot of this. You have a lot of emotional children, both males and females, raised by a equally emotional mother who have probably told them, you're a victim. America owes you. You don't have to work hard for anything because they owe us because our ancestors were slaves 200 years ago and stuff like that. And what happened to our ancestors was heinous. I'm not taking away from that. But the thing is, if our ancestors are looking down on us, how disappointed would they be within us? That we're actually living in a time where we can be anything that we want to be, but instead we would rather be woe is me victims. And I've had a couple of people come at me, by using that verbiage, but okay, but oh well. Go find a channel where you could be a victim to your heart's content. But this type of behavior, as I showed you previously, when you feel like a victim and not a victor, you do things like this because you have a defeatist attitude. You can't move forward. You can't grow. And it's unfortunate that we have such a follow the leader mentality. There's no way I would have been in that crowd as a teenager. Never. Because my mother raised me better than that. My brothers too. We would not, my grandmother's children, my aunts and uncles, they would not have been in that crowd. And I'm sure there are hundreds of young Black children across America right now who would not have been in that crowd because they had parents that loved them enough to tell them, don't you follow the leader. You work hard for what you want out of life. No one owes you anything. Work hard for what you want. Because a few seconds of stealing that stuff Okay, so you're going to go on to your next hit. Having that mentality, it keeps you in poverty too. Poverty. And it also repeats the cycle of more fatherless homes, more young ladies getting pregnant without the benefit of having a husband. And as I've said in a previous video, when men have wives, I'm not a man, so I can only, talk about what I've seen from men within my family, my community, stuff like that. When men have a wife and children to take care of, they get together, maybe pool their resources, they bounce ideas off of each other. And what that would do is that would heal the community. But we as women, we have to do our part. And I'm about to go off on a tangent, and it's going to trigger some people. But again, I'm done trying to be nice. We as women, and this is not the word I wanted to use, have the responsibility to bring back the, I don't want to say law and order, but order to our homes. And you might say, well, Shimmer girl, well, how do we go about that? It's these men. When you blame men, and as I mentioned in a previous video, you had a young lady who had, by her own admission, had never been in a relationship. This is happening across America in Black communities as I speak. You have Black women choosing to be mothers without the benefit of having a husband and a father for their children. And you have a lot of these women, they want a husband after having children with irresponsible men. This is going to take us to start walking towards making some changes. But what I see online is a lot of strong and independent, I'm a victim, these men are nothing, these men are worthless, and y'all pick these men. You're not trying to be decent women yourselves. Let's be honest. And so that was my topic for today. Please check out my other videos, like, share, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts. The young children, the teens running amok in these large urban cities, who is at fault? I would love to hear your thoughts, and I will talk to you later. Bye.